We got shirts on sale. Express your Eeveelution and starter Pokemon love by buying an Eeveelution family shirt and Which One starter shirt. Link will be in the description below. Eeveelutions. I swear, these Pokemon are so iconic. Whenever they get revealed, fans go crazy because of how iconic they are. I can also say the same exact thing whenever we also get a leak, a tease, or even some kind of smidge of a hint. I'm completely 100% the same, and as an Eeveelution connoisseur, I go especially crazy. Now, Dragon typing is my favorite typing, even more than Dark from a mascot Umbreon. I have wanted a Dragon type Eeveelution for such a long time. In 2013, people were very convinced we were going to get a Dragon Eeveelution. There were leaks and very credible sources, but in the end, we wind up with Sylveon. I don't have a problem with Sylveon. It's super cute, and I have to say it's my second favorite Eeveelution next to Umbreon. Okay, Mystic, you like Dragon Pokemon and you want a Draco Eeveelution. What are you getting at? Well, what if I were to tell you that we were going to get a Dragon type Eeveelution in Generation 8? Think I'm crazy? Well, once you check out this speculation with all the evidence I have gathered, I think you too will be convinced that it is highly possible. So grab your popcorn and be prepared to listen in as we go into details you would have thought never existed. Alright, let's begin. First off, let's get into what Eeveelutions are based off of. Most, if not all, Eeveelutions are based off of foxes, and in some cases are also based around cats. Espeon, for example, is based off of the Bakeneko and the Nekomata, both Japanese mythological creatures depicted as mysterious, intelligent, fork-tailed goblin cats. This is what Bulbapedia says about it. So Eeveelutions can be based around felines or cats, and let's be real, a lot of Eeveelutions have cat-like features. Check out this statue from Pokemon Origins. What does it look like to you? I can't be the only one that sees that it highly resembles a Dragon-type Eeveelution in some way. These wings, they look a lot like a dragon's wings. If we take a look at the statue more in depth, you will notice that it will also have a lot of cat-like features. The body shape, how it has hind legs, cats have hind legs just like that. The ears are also sticking upward, which a lot of cats have. The tail also looks very sphinx-like. You can also see the eye features. If you look closely, you can see that the eyes on the statue are very similar to pretty much all other Eeveelutions. They have that diamond shape, and so do a lot of cats. Okay, so, the statue looks like an Eeveelution. So what? Artists have put random Pokemon or Fakemon across the anime all the time. This is just one of those cases, right? Au contraire. Let me get into the origin of where the statue comes from, and I'll be throwing in some British, French, and European lore into the mix. Yeah, I said British. I can practically guarantee that Generation 8 region will be in the UK. Also, aren't dragons only scaly and reptilian-like? Yeah, that's what I believed, but there are special cases. I will explain why. The term dragon comes from Old English and Old French by corrupting the Greek word drakon. So when thinking of a region for a Dragon-type Eeveelution, since we didn't get it in France, it's gotta be coming out of somewhere based of England. Now, there are multiple types of dragon-like creatures that come out of England, such as drakes, dragons, and wyverns. Keep these three in mind. We will get back to them in a moment. If you look at some English literature, there are a lot of areas where dragon play a part of the history, mostly coming out of the King Arthur's mythos. The best example is the red and white dragon that are represented on the Welsh flag. For the red dragon of Wales, I can't say I'm not Welsh, but here it is on screen. This is pretty well known for the people of Wales. This is also the earliest representations of dragons in 829 AD, but the story goes, the king of Brit, Lud, has an issue with the white dragon invading and attacking the red dragon. After the dragons cause all sorts of issues, he turns to his older brother, Leffys, for help. The older brother suggests to dig a pit where the dragons could be captured after drinking something that would get them to fall asleep, then trapping the dragons under cloth. Looking at this could be a hint on how we get Eevee to evolve using some sort of drink that an NPC will give us. Maybe this drink is a held item, and we have to level up Eevee in a dark cave, causing it to evolve. Now remember those three I said to keep in mind. The Drake, Wyvern, and Dragons. These are all types of what we call dragons, but they are totally different. Drakes are oftentimes misidentified as young dragons. Original drakes were flightless dragons who would run around the earth on all fours. Picture something like a Komodo dragon that could spit fire or lightning that could run very fast. Some drakes do have mammalian-like features as well, such as external ears, but they also have a scaly body. The other type are wyverns, made super popular by a little game called Monster Hunter. Many of you may not have heard of this game, but the representation of different types of wyverns is pretty amazing. These wyverns can look like traditional dragons, or they can look like terrifying wolf dragon hybrids like Zinogre or the cat-like wyvern Nargacuga. They are also the wyverns from the Middle Ages who were two-legged creatures with great wings and great claws to tear people apart and only spit fire. Over the years, due to fantasy games, they have evolved into having four legs, and some look very mammalian-like. Now, dragons are the easiest to explain. Everyone knows about the four-legged flying creatures that eat sheep and steal treasure. So we have talked about what the Dragon-type Eeveelution can be based off of, gotten into the mythology behind it, and I have explained how it ties into the the UK. Now let's get into the in-game lore. So the UK region. There have been a lot of leaks going around about Pokemon King and Queen or Pokemon Crown and Scepter. There's also Duncan Can't Die's video about how he explains why the next region will be in the UK. I trust his judgment, so I'm pretty confident it will be in the UK as well. That's not all the evidence I have to back it up though. Let's go to Kalos and head over to Parfum Palace. If you talk to an NPC on the first floor, she states, this palace was built after Kalos won a war with neighboring regions. I'll bet a lot of people in Pokemon lost their lives. There is only one country that comes to mind when it comes to France fighting them constantly, and that is the UK. Parfum Palace is based off of the Palace of Versailles, which was built in 1682. During this time, the French were very victorious when it came to winning wars. This is France's golden period. If you go upstairs into Parfum Palace as further evidence, you'll see a portrait of King Louis XIV. When Versailles was built, he was the king here. However, the palace was built under his father, King Louis XIII, but he passed it on to his son, Louis XIV. The 13th died before the palace was finished. There are people in Parfum Palace that talk about how the father king passed it on to his son. There was the War of Spanish Succession between France and the UK for who was going to take over Spain. This ended in 1714, which would make it close to 300 years before the release of X and Y. The War with Parfum Palace is sometimes also mistaken for the war that happened 3,000 years ago. No, that's not the case. There was another war in Kalos 300 years ago. I think that war they are talking about in Parfum Palace 300 years ago was the War of Spanish Succession. No one indisputably won, but there's evidence right there that during Louis' reign, there was a war between France and the UK. Now I know that Kalos won, but this is Pokemon, and sometimes things are twisted for the sake of lore. The evidence is, there had been multiple wars between Britain and France. There's also the fact that during Louis XIV's reign, France had one of its most successful military periods. During this time, England also became a constant enemy to France. Now one more small piece I want to throw out there is that fairy beats dragon, correct? The UK is known for its dragon lore and praise of dragons. London has statues and there's a lot of history with that, and like Camelot, etc. France, on the other hand, is more praiseful of pixies and the fairies. How do I know this? You can see pixies and fairies in a lot of French literature. An example is the Comte de Gabelis Index, which depicts sylphs, which are imaginary fairies of air. Where does Sylveon's name come from? Sylph. Sylphs have a lot of mythological presence in French lore as dragons do in English. Is it all adding up yet? Fairy is super effective against dragon. Kalos is based off of France, and it won the war with neighboring regions that has a lot of dragon history. The UK region has to be the region Kalos won against. There is too much evidence pointing in that direction. Plus, look at the setting where the McGearty movie takes place. You can't tell me that the clothing some of the characters wear doesn't scream United Kingdom or Britain. So, the final concluding piece is when the statue got revealed in Pokemon Origins. The statue got revealed when Pokemon Origins aired in late 2013, so X and Y had already been out by then. The hint of the UK region has been under our noses for the past 5, almost 6 years. Now, the Dragon-type Eeveelution statue may or may not involve Britain directly, but there is some heavy lore of dragons in Britain, and the timing of the statue was right around the time the Dragon-type Eeveelution rumors started going around. My claim is Pokemon put it in there to get us ready for its reveal 6 years later. Just because a Pokemon was heavily hinted at in a generation where it wasn't introduced, does not mean it can't come out years later. Look at Munna in Pokemon Red and Blue. Munna was hinted at over 20 years ago, and we got it in Generation 5 around 10 years later. To further back up my case, though this may not have to do with a Pokemon directly, take a look at Corsola's Pokedex entry. They migrate to the southern seas to have nutritional water. Now look at its Ultra Sun entry. The pink of the Corsola that live in Alola is deep and vibrant thanks to seas filled with nutrition. Alola got revealed to us over 15 years ago. So with the case of the Draco Eevee statue, this is not the first time Pokemon has revealed stuff to us so many years earlier, and we didn't see it. Also, think about when the Eeveelutions are introduced. They are introduced every even number generation, aside from Gen 1 of course. An Eeveelution was not revealed in Generation 7 because all Eeveelutions are introduced in even number generations. This Dragon Eeveelution, I almost guarantee, will be introduced in Generation 8. Look at all the French lore, the English dragon lore, the war between Kalos and the neighboring regions, Parfum Palace, and the wars between France and the UK. It just makes perfect sense. Fairy is France, Dragon is the UK, or in Pokemon terms, Fairy is Kalos and the UK is Dragon. They didn't reveal the Dragon-type Eeveelution during Generation 6 because they were waiting for Generation 8 and the UK region. The Dragon-type Eeveelution is a perfect representation of Kalos and the UK region's rivalry. It's only fitting that we get a Dragon-type Eeveelution in Generation 8. The evidence is on the table. I also think that Kalos and the UK region will have a connection in the new games coming out this year. I'm thinking we may actually be able to travel to Kalos, but we'll see. Well, that concludes my speculation on why this Draco Eeveelution statue is a Dragon Eeveelution and why it will get revealed in Generation 8. I honestly think that all this evidence is definitive and it matches up perfectly as to why we would get a Dragon type evolution. What do you guys think though? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Comment everywhere. I want to hear your thoughts and speculations of this. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream a lot of Pokemon content and Nintendo content like shiny hunting, showdown battles, even Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Sky speedruns. Zelda, Fire Emblem, I stream it. Want to support me further and gain cool perks? Check out my Patreon. Fly Jubilee, Daniel Leone, Lady Crimson, Pal491, The Lazy Leo, Matthew Young, Awesome Lego, and Jarrett Weeze Austin did. I want to thank them personally for going above and beyond. It means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.